Yo, man, I'm gonna be real, man. Like, I don't know if I say this enough. I know I talk about the 2010s a lot because it's my favorite decade, right? But, bro, the 2010s are my favorite decade. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, bro. They are the best decade of all time. Name one decade better than the 2010s, okay? Not the 2020s. The 2020s sucks. This will go down as one of the worst decades in human history. The best decade of all time was the 2010s, okay? The 2010s, it solos the 90s, the 80s, the 2000s, even the 1970s does not come close to the 2010s, bro. Like, literally, you could literally go through every single decade in human history, and the 2010s will come out on top. The 2010s is better than every other decade, man, okay? The fashion in the 2010s was peak. The music was peak in the 2010s, bro. Back in the 2010s, people actually made, like, original music. Like, nowadays, you go on TikTok, right? All you hear is rage music, bro. Rap music back in the 2010s was fire, because back in the 2010s, we had trap music, bro. We had Waka Flocka Flame, Gucci Mane, bro. We had T.I., Travis Scott in his prime, bro. Post Malone, bro. That was like fire music of the 2010s. Who do we got now in the 2020s, bro, in rap? Bro, the only good rappers, not even good, bro. The only, like, actually prominent rappers we got now are Net Spend and, Destroy Lonely, bro. Really, that's how bad this decade is, bro. Like, we have whack-ass rappers like Destroy Lonely and Netspend representing the rap scene now instead of, the good rappers in the 2010s like A$AP Rocky and Kanye West, bro. Like, dude, rap music is so cooked in the 2020s, bro. In the 2010s, it was so much better, bro. And don't even get me started with the fashion, man. The fashion in the 2010s was amazing, bro. Like, dude, back in the 2010s, man, everybody dressed unique and different, bro. Everybody in the 2010s, like, they thrifted clothes, even if they bought, like, from, like, Walmart or Amazon, right? Like, they dressed unique in the 2010s, bro. Now everybody dresses the same. Like, bro, go to any city and you'll see everybody dressing the same in cities, bro. Back in the 2010s, during the Tumblr era, the fashion was peak. Like, bro, 2010s fashion was amazing. And the gaming, bro, don't even get me started on 2010's gaming, bro. We had GTA 5, we had, peak games like Fortnite coming out that year. Roblox came out in the 2000s, right? But it was really peak in the 2010s. Bro, just everything about the 2010s solos every other decade, bro. You can't name one better decade than the 2010s, bro. The 2010s solos every other decade and is the best decade of all time, okay? Like, bro, there is no decade better than the 2010s, bro. Everything in the 2010s, fashion, gaming, music, was all peak. Okay, man? And, I'm not really a sports guy, but, like, I know LeBron James, he got really big back in the 2010s, so we're gonna say sports is peak, too, because, bro, the 2010s LeBron James era, like, especially me growing up in Florida, right? I'm from, I'm not from Miami, but I'm from near that area, bro. Witnessing the prime heat in the 2010s, even though I wasn't even watching sports at the time, it was crazy. But point being, bro, the 2010s, it solos every other decade, okay? Name me one decade that solos the 2010s. Name me one. Not this decade. This decade is ass, bro. The 2020s is a shit-ass decade. I hate this decade, bro. Back in the 2010s, bro, like, I was all happy and everything, bro. Now this decade just sucks, bro. Like, I really wish that I could be an adult in the 2010s and not the 2020s. Because, bro, like, dude, this is just such a lame decade to be an adult and grow up in, bro. The 2010s, it solos literally every other decade. I don't know how else to say it, man, but it just solos every other decade, bro, okay? Like, dude, nobody's gonna look back on the 2020s and be like, this is a good decade. No, this decade sucks, bro. The 2010s is better than the 2000s, 90s, and 80s, bro. It solos every other decade. It solos every other decade because fashion, music, and gaming was all peak in the 2010s, bro. Like, bro, back in the 2010s, people actually knew how to dress. People used to wear Oasis shoes and wear Obey caps on the 2010s. People look cool. Now everybody, all they wear, dude, is Balenciaga, and they wear that fucking whack-ass Chrome Heart shit, bro. Like, dude, 2010's fashion, man. Back when people knew how to dress. Now you kids nowadays, you guys in your freaking Chrome Hearts and your Rick Owens, y'all look lame as shit with that, bro. Like, go back to dressing in Obey caps, man. That was the real stuff, man, bro. Y'all don't know how lit 2010's hypebeast fashion was, bro. 2010's hypebeast fashion was way better than this freaking whack-ass generation of fashion we're in now, bro. Like, y'all people don't know how to dress, man. Back in the 2010s, people dressed unique and stuff like that. Like, all kids were popping, hype beasts were popping, bro. Nowadays in 2026, bro, everybody dresses the same. Like, Everybody's such NPCs nowadays. Nobody wants to be creative and different. Back in the 2010s, man, everybody was creative and weird, and nobody cared about being called corny or performative for being called creative, right? Nowadays, nobody wants to be creative, because if you're creative in 2026, TikTok will instantly call you corny and performative. It's just so insane, bro, how, like, uncreative this new generation is, bro. Back in the 2010s, people were so much creative, bro. I'm jealous of all the millennials and early Gen Z that got to be adults in the 2010s. Because, bro, like, dude, being an adult now is lame as fuck, man. I'm sorry. Like, bro, if I were to go back in time, I would, like, change the world so that I was born 10 years earlier, so I get to experience being a teenager in the 2000s and being an adult in the 2010s. Because, bro, being an adult in the 2010s was peak, you know? Like, you went to house parties every day. You dressed in, like, Obey caps all day. It was lit. And nowadays, in the 2020s, man, adults like me are depressed and don't even have hope for the future, bro. Like, dude, 2010 souls every other decade. I don't want to hear, bro. It's just like, bro, the 2010s were our 90s, bro. They were our 90s. You know how millennials, right? Millennials always talk about the 90s, the 90s, the 90s. Like, the millennials are like, oh, man, I miss the 90s. It was so good. Bro, the 2010s was the 90s for Gen Z, bro. In 10 years from now, bro, Gen Z is literally going to talk about the 2010s just like millennials do right now with the 90s. Like, bro, that was our 90s, bro. It was our 90s. There was no AI slop or brain rot, too. It was peak.